Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. We are just, as always, checking that we are indeed live here, and we are indeed. I can see the stream is up and running, and let's get ready then, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a few weeks, so forgive me if your commentator here forgets a little bit of what's going on. We've not had time to revise as per normal. We do, however, know that this one is a precursor to the Hardcore Championship match, which we have coming up very shortly at the next main pay-per-view, ladies and gentlemen. We're only a few weeks away from that now, as the cold, dark months of winter eclipse the world of the Northern Hemisphere, grip the KEW fans. It's time to huddle indoors and witness some KEW wrestling. We'll have things kicked off here with the BFG taking on the Mystery, the Hardcore Champion. There he is, making his way to the ring, posing for the ladies there. You can see them queued up in the front row there, ready and raring for the big fella as he lifts his finger high into the KEW air, so the KEW fans can well and truly appreciate their KEW Hardcore Champion. He's been a man who's held the belt twice now, of course, taking it back off the Assassin a few months ago, taking the place of James the Cat, and then successfully defending said belt against James the Cat. It is a belt that only really goes on offer at the main pay-per-views, but that is mainly due to the rough nature of the hardcore division. The man now entering the ring, though, who you would not necessarily associate with the rougher side of the wrestling, more of a technical athlete, the Mystery, a technical wrestler. He has, though, delved into the hardcore division after seeing his tag team partners take the tag team gold. They are the new tag team champions, the Misfits, of course, with Big Dan and the Yeti, and of course being part of that, he will look to bring more glory to them at the next main pay-per-view, where he will look to secure that hardcore championship as he gives the V's to the KEW fans. And the BFG, you can see, looks motivated and ready for this one. There's a real contrast in styles and weights here, ladies and gentlemen. The skinny, thin athlete of the Mystery taking on the lard bucket that is the BFG, as he takes him around the back of the head and rams him in the corner. And we do, of course, have the update about the next main pay-per-view as well. Not only will we see these two on the card for the Hardcore Championship, but we will, of course, have a tag team championship match, and the tag team champions have seen the look of the tag division and deemed that they can well and truly take advantage of the opportunity that presents itself in front of them, and they have said that it is a open challenge. As many tag teams as the KEW wants to throw at them, or as many as want to challenge for the belts, they are welcome to step into the ring with the KEW champions. So we'll have to wait and see who fills up that bracket, ladies and gentlemen, but they think that they are the dominant force in the KEW, and will their hubris, if you like, come back to halt them in the future? We'll have to wait and see. It will be a exciting one, I dare say. We've not seen a lot of tag action so far in this month or couple of months of KEW action, but I'm sure that'll be one we'll look forward to in the tag divisions coming up at the main pay-per-view. As early doors here, the BFG's been all in control of this one. Went for a cheeky early pin as well, of course, didn't get the job done, but we've seen the Mystery do this in the past. He can start slow in a match, then come back into it and really get the momentum shift, and he will, of course, know that this not being a hardcore match, you'll have to get it done in the old-fashioned way. No obstacles from under the ring or from the crowd itself. And the technical aspects of his wrestling style should come to the forefront here and really help him try and get the W here, and the momentum shifting back in his direction as again he goes for that nasty little neck lock there. He's right next to the rope here. There you go, as I mentioned, a rope break there from the big fella, but trying to choke the life out of the big man as he now rams ahead onto the floor, goes for the cover as well. Got a kick out before there's even a one count. The BFG could feel the presence of the women in the audience, the eyes fixated on him, and he knew that he had to kick out there to prove his virality. His little toe drag sends him right down in front of that rope. Again, he's back to his feet swiftly there, though, but only for the Mystery to get back hold of him, give him a little hip toss there and send the big fella down as he lands firmly on the KEW matting and jiggles the ring rhythmically like his many rolls and layers. Big elbows there from the Mystery, getting the BFG back into the rhythm of it though with that big boot there. It looked like he just avoided disaster at the last second, and he rams the head of the Mystery into the corner turnbuckle, and again here trying to get a measure of revenge, and this is not where the Mystery will want to be. That big splash there, crushing him in the corner as he falls out of it, and there's a very hungry man stomping his way around the ring, and there might be about time to be a very hungry caterpillar indeed. There is, here it comes as he drops the elbow right across the sternum of the Mystery, and he's got him in position in the corner now. Flexes for the KEW faithful without throwing up the V's, perhaps mocking the Mystery there with the double V's, as the Mystery does come in with those V's as well, and the big walrus headbutt there slamming into the Mystery on the floor. And as I've said before, he is in a dangerous position in that corner. If the BFG takes flight from that position, he's in a prime zone to have the life squished out of him, but climbs out of the ring, comes back in, perhaps even forward. It was a hardcore match to make the best of it now though, and here we go onto the second rope. Goes the BFG, diving off with the body splash, but misses entirely. The Mystery rolled out of the way. The BFG took far too long over that one. If he'd sped things up there, ladies and gentlemen, that could have been it. The size of that man, if he'd landed on top of the Mystery, he would have crushed the life out of him, I'm sure, and that would have been it, and he would have been done and dusted for this evening's action, I dare say, and that would have put him into some sort of questionable remarks about the ability to compete at the main pay-per-view. I'm sure he may have been carrying rib injuries, avoided it as it was there though, and again there, a whip off the top rope as the BFG steps out of the way of the elbow, almost a la Samoan Joe. Drops him onto the top rope now. Taking control of this one, the BFG, and now look at this, he's the hardcore champion for a reason. The top turnbuckle pad there goes flying outside the ring, almost teleported its way out, and the BFG now taking control. Goes for the headbutt and misses it completely. Big splash there, drives the Mystery down to the ground, and now he's crawling up into the top turnbuckle here, but he's got that, the metal there as he clotheslines him straight into the unprotected turnbuckle, crushing the sternum. Goes for the cover, gets a 2 count there, and the BFG, you can see, not happy with that. He thought he'd done enough there with the crushing blow, sending the full weight of his body into the Mystery, and the Mystery again poised dangerously in the corner area here. The BFG gets hold of him round the mistress, lifts him high and slams him down with a sit-down powerbomb, and you can see he clutches the back and smartly potentially rolls out of the ring. He looks a little woozy but manages to recover sufficiently as the BFG, too aggressive in his assault, goes out to meet him and gets an elbow to the back, and now a rake across the back with those vicious gloves, if you like, that the Mystery wears. Taking the time now to have a little wave to the crowd, maybe to the ladies in the crowd, saying that don't forget about his hotel room, slapping the arms down, pulling him in some sort of surfboard stretch, almost like a hobgoblin stretch over the back of him now. Big shots to the back as well, up to a 3 count here. The referee generously slow with the count so far. The 4 came very swiftly though. Another elbow, and again an age before the 5. Inconsistent counting from the referee here. Big shot to the back of the BFG again. We're up to a 6 count, and if the Mystery might look to get a count out victory here, no, it looks like he's going to send the BFG back into the ring. He wants to finish this one in the ropes. The ref almost up to a 7 count, and the Mystery poised here. Maybe he thinks he's done enough damage to the back if he gets the submission hold locked in, but it's a mysterious neck breaker instead. Down goes the BFG, and the Mystery might look to go for the cover, has to try and tug him away from the ropes here, spins him around and pulls him that little bit back away from the edge of the ring, goes for the cover, but has he taken too long with that? 2, 3, not quite, gets the cover and the count out, and the Mystery with the hands up, he's the victor here. A good win for him. The BFG trying to do the damage, and the Mystery going out of the ring. The BFG, you can see a little bit of damage there And you can see, hang on a minute, what's the mystery up to here? He's going under the ring for something, ladies and gentlemen. He's got a ladder here. This is not what anybody wants to see. The BFG trying to crawl away and crawl out of the ring. The ladies in the KW audience aren't going to enjoy this one. Oh, he gets the ladder square to the face. And the mystery now stands atop him. He knows that the KW Hardcore Championship's about to change hands. And he can sense the momentum and the shift there, ladies and gentlemen. Goodness gracious me, the BFG will not take that one lightly or laying down. I dare say he will be fired up when they meet again at the next main pay-per-view, only a few weeks away now, ladies and gentlemen. This one then proves to be a real slobber knocker. We'll go back to that hardcore match in a minute, and well, I suppose we'll muse on it a bit now whilst Atomic Andy makes his way down to the ring. We have of course, that Hardcore Championship match will be at the main pay-per-view, and the BFG will not be happy having had the ladder delivered firmly to his noggin there. I'm sure he'll look for a measure of revenge against the mystery when time suits and time comes round to that particular occasion. We'll focus then back on our next match for this evening. We'll see Atomic Andy taking on former tag team partner, the Firefighter. A little bit of bitterness, a little bit of a questionableness between the two of them. We of course saw in recent weeks the Firefighter taking out Mark in a one-on-one setting. Mark of course had been targeted in Tange, trying to enrage the number one contender for the championship. A championship that he has claimed his number one contender spot for this evening, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, we'll have a KW championship defence coming up later this evening, seeing the Assassin taking on the Tange. But it is perhaps Andy who has the toughest task of the night, a man who's been out of form really. He could have been the number one contender, was defeated by the Tange, and it is this man, his former tag team partner, who looks like the most fired up competitor in the KW. You'd have to say here, he's got to surely be 2 wins away from being a number one competitor himself. This is basically a number 2 or 3 competitor match, if you like. It'll see that man there, the Firefighter, taking on Atomic Andy. And of course, the Firefighter, as mentioned, defeated Mark in what was meant to be a 2 of 3 match, but got the 2 victories, one a controversial count out, and the second a resounding victory really over the wee Skeleton King, one of the most vicious members of the KW locker room. And you'd have to say now, though, the Firefighter has a tough task on his hand, taking on his former tag team partner, 2 men who will know everything about one another. Atomic Andy will look at this and say, I don't want to let another opportunity to have a number one contender spot slip through my fingers. And the Firefighter will say, this is why you broke apart the tag team, was for nights like tonight, where we are fighting it out, duking it out to be the potential number one contenders. Of course, I'm sure if the Tange loses that match later this evening, he will have his fair say about getting a rematch potentially, but he may have to wait behind one of these 2 men if and when that does happen, or if the unlikely happens and the Assassin concedes the belt to the Tange, and then of course the Assassin will be demanding a rematch for that belt many a time before these 2 men get close to it. And we'll have to see then who gets the rub of the green here. So far it's been all the Firefighter. As I said, he's coming in on a hot streak really, as Andy gets hold of him, lifts him high, and choke slams him down out of nowhere. Perhaps Allah, of course, the Shinigami, a man who we've not seen since the Halloween pay-per-view. He was of course put in the coffin by the Tange, and that was weeks and almost a month ago now, or well over a month in fact, by the time those 2 episodes have aired. And of course it's been a long time with his conspicuous absence in the KW. We'll have to see whether he's managed to dig his way out of whatever grave the Tange buried him in. Andy, though, taking full control here as the main big man in the KW, other than maybe Big Dan, who of course has the Tag Team Championship, which of course this man here held with that man that he's now just chokeslammed again off the floor for many a time in the KW. They were 3-time tag team champions, and it was somewhat of a bitter ending to their tag team, with Andy deciding that he wanted to go his own way to potentially chase the KW championship, and it looked like it was a fruitless venture, immediately as he had the number one contender's opportunity, took on the Tange and lost that chance. And now he looks like an angry and motivated man. He is a man who is well rested, though. He's had a few weeks off here in the KW, where the firefighter's been moving up the power rankings, and Andy's remained somewhat stationary without a real competitor to face. It was kind of waiting, I guess, to see whether it would be the firefighter Royal Mark who would come through that battle in the 4-5 spots, and then who would emerge from that to be the 2 or 3. And it's turned out that it is indeed the firefighter who has got the opportunity here this evening to be the main contender, potentially taking on Atomic Andy. Boot to the back there, and these two are no love lost between the two of them. Big bear hug there, showing the power on display from the firefighter to lift up the what must be almost close to 300 pounds Atomic Andy off his feet, and now big clothesline drives the firefighter down to the ground as Andy screams to the KEW faithful. Lifts him high, and a massive powerbomb drives him down into the ground. Lifts him again and slams him off the mat, and now turns it back to him. That's disappointing from Andy there. He took his eyes off the opponent for a minute, and that's the kind of issues he has to work out of his wrestling, really. Massive power on display there again. Sit down powerbomb from the firefighter, goes for the cover, but Andy kicks out before there's even a 1 count. And like I mentioned, disappointing from Andy. He could be a #1 contender if he cut those bits out, really, of his wrestling style. Took his eyes off the prize, allowed the firefighter the opportunity to get up quickly behind him, get the shot into the back, and really switch the momentum back to his favour. He's now in a spot of bother though, as he's put on the top turnbuckle, but boots his way out of that one with those steel toe cap boots. And again, the power on display with the sit down power slam there. Hooks a leg too, gets a 2 count there, but only a 2 as Atomic Andy kicks out, and he's now swiftly back to his feet, pops up very quickly and shoulder charges the firefighter down to the ground there, and a big shot to the arm as well. Now picking him up by the back of the head here, lifts him high and slams him face first onto the KEW matting. Now looks poised here. Is he ready to deliver the atomic drive that might put away the firefighter? Oh, but no, gets a big knee, and the firefighter does, but clobbers him in the back of the head as the firefighter now pays the disrespect, turning his back on Atomic Andy, and Andy clobbersaurus him from behind. And now the big man's gone to the top rope here, poised and waiting as the firefighter makes his way back to his feet. Andy hops down. Oh, it was missed time there. It looked like he thought about a second, but thought about it and realised he couldn't fly that far. The firefighter catches him cold as well as he hops off the top ropes trying to catch the firefighter out, but it ends up backfiring horrifically on him. And again, the momentum swings back to the firefighter. It's not been pretty wrestling from Andy. It's been effective at times when he gets the power game going. The big shot there to the guts, and you can see the firefighter taking all of it, and now more furious shots exchanged between these two. I thought it might be a Slobbersaurus with knockers going left, right and centre here, and it's really proved that way. Big hits from both competitors, nobody giving any ground here. Of course, both men will want to prove that the tag team, the dissolving of it, was the right thing to do, none more so than Andy. He was the one really who was calling for the breakup of it, but the firefighter, of course, he will want to prove that not only was Andy wrong to ditch him and see him as the weak link in the tag team, but that he was the better of the two athletes. It is a match that has plenty on the cards, and here is taking the time again to point to the KEW faithful. Climbs in the ring. Referee got to a 5 count, but allowed that man there the time to get back to his feet. A big side slam there, driving the firefighter down into the middle of the ring here. He's dragging him across the centre of the ring, maybe trying to get in position for an atomic drive, and it looked like he ducked under what was going to be an Andy grapple there. Gets him around the back of the head, now rams his head into that top turnbuckle. As you can see, the padding's been put back on it now, onto the second rope. He dives. Oh, big bulldog there. It looked like Andy landed awkwardly as well. Snapped the neck into the KEW ring there, and gets hold of him off the second rope. He goes now the second rope stunner there, and drops him down to the KEW floor, and he's really working the neck of Andy now. It looks like that's a target area for the firefighter. Has him poised, and he's going to try and put him away here with a fireman's carry. If he lifts him up and hits it awkwardly onto that neck, it might be the end of it. Gets hold of him around the back of the neck as well. Gets him onto the shoulders, hooks him up, and down he goes. Hooked the neck though, goes for the cover. Oh, rope break immediately. The referee didn't even go for a 1 count, didn't even get in close enough to look. Controversial stuff here, ladies and gentlemen. I did wonder if the firefighter would unnecessarily pull the
the fireman's carry and not hit it so cleanly where he got Andy to land on the neck, but it looked like he covered it properly and landed Andy square on the back. Yeah, maybe the undoing of him here, if only he'd gone for the killer instinct there. Perhaps it was a bit of generosity, if you like. Now he's getting bear hugged, the life being squeezed out of him. The referee checking, see if he's giving up, and says no, he's not. You've got to let go of him, son. And he does. He tosses him down like a rag doll. Now the firefighter, he showed that moment of compassion for his competitor, his former tag team partner, and it's paid the price here as Andy puts his hands up. It looks like he's paying homage again to his fallen competitor. Charges to the corner in a big drive there, using all of his body weight, slamming him in the corner and pulls him out of the corner and drops him back first. And now the firefighter could be in some serious doo-doo here. Picks him up, but as the legs sweep away at the last second, the firefighter now targets the head and the neck area again of Atomic Andy. Now, here we go. Might be time to install the fire alarm, and this could be what I was saying about working that neck region. Gets a little shuffle going here, and boom, there it is, the fire alarm installed right in the noggin. And he now in all kinds of bother here as the firefighter rolls him over, has the leg hooked, and now wrenches the neck, going for that neck-wrenching submission move. Is he going to tap here, Andy? He does indeed. He can't sustain the pain anymore. The damage to the neck was too much. I thought that the firefighter had let it go as he showed that moment of weakness earlier with the fireman's carry, but no, puts Atomic Andy away with the submission hold there, pulling the neck, wrenching it backwards, and that was enough to get Andy to tap. The damage done to the neck area. He, of course, will know best of all that you don't want any damage done to your back or neck. That can really hamper your KEW career. It could even be a career ender, as we saw with Benji, of course, who has been out with injury and is nowhere near return, we're told. He's got a long way back on the recovery path. And of course, Andy will look at his brother and realise that he doesn't want the neck damage that his brother sustained, and taps out of that one. That'll move the firefighter up the KEW rankings, and you've got to say he's probably the number one competitor. Tan straight out of the locker room, taking out Mark here. I mentioned earlier that Mark had been looking to attack the Tange at any opportunity and throw him off his game, and Tange gets a measure of revenge, and Mark meant to be taking on the Witch Mother here. The Witch Mother looking to move up the KEW power rankings herself for a KEW title shot, and now Mark, just like I said, bounced off the steps. He was in bad form already, having lost 2 matches to the firefighter previous to this one in controversial, in inverted commas, fashion. Controversial to him. Everybody else knows it was a count out victory. The second, a resounding victory by the firefighter that we've just seen. Another really good victory for the firefighter, and now the Tange exploding out of the locker room before his KEW championship match to attack Mark in controversial fashion here. And Mark taking on the Witch Mother now. Has a measure of control here. Slides out. Went flying out like a penguin under the bottom rope and looked like he landed head first onto the Witch Mother. The Witch Mother, of course, hasn't really got any sort of form or momentum going with the Coven in the tag division, and now looks to try and potentially move her own KEW career forward. Slammed into the barricade. She has elected not to take out any of the other members of the Coven here as well, which might prove an undoing as well. Perhaps she was hoping that the damage dealt by the Tange would have more of an impact on Mark early doors, but since then it's been Mark who's come to the offence. She got a few hits in early doors and another big one there, and now gets hold of him, rolls him over with that headlock, now trying to wrench the neck area. Again, we've seen one athlete have to tap out because of a neck injury here, it looked like, with Andy, and maybe she's seen what the firefighter did early doors and is looking to replicate that here as Mark goes to the top rope and diving across, throws the Witch Mother across the KEW arena, goes for the cover, but doesn't even get a 1 count as she kicks out swiftly there. Mark gets up, bounces off the ropes, big crossbody, drives the Witch Mother down, is looking to actually do the damage to the ribs and the back area of the Witch Mother. He knows that she is one of the older athletes in the KEWs, perhaps their back's a good area to work. She went for the big kick there again, looking to connect to the head, but Mark sees it coming and has hold of the fingers now, the witchy paws of the Witch Mother, as he goes to the top rope and drags her down and across again. It seems the early damage done by the Tange, where he bounced his head off the KEW steps, hasn't done too much lasting damage to the Skeleton King, who's now got the high momentum game going here as he goes off to the top rope. Oh, went for the crossbody but didn't get the aerial prowess there. Lands chest first on the outside. Now the Witchmother can take control of this after a huge error from Mark, and he looks dazed and confused, and after having his head bounce off the steps and the submission hold earlier from the Witchmother, you'd have to say that it perhaps was the damage done there. It was a good tactic for her to attack the head here, but she took too long getting back in the ring there. Wanted to take a tea break, it looked like. Now Mark gives her a little drop kick back to the outside. Goes the Witchmother here. She's now really mistiming this one as Mark DDTs her violently on the outside. He says, you want to take this to the outside of the KW ring, then I'm more than happy to mix it up out here. Gives a kick to the guts, hooks the legs in, not a package pile driver out here. Oh, the package pile driver on the outside, and that might have put the Witchmother away. It might have broken her neck here, ladies and gentlemen. A horrific package pile driver from Mark. At least it wasn't a jumping one. He now goes to the top rope here. Diving elbow off the top rope right to the spine of the Witchmother, and that might be enough to put the Witchmother away. She rolls over here, is in position. Is it time for him to get froggy? Goes to the top rope, and sits down on the top of her face instead, driving the hips straight into the chest of the Witchmother. Picks her up, back to her feet now, and she could be in real bother here. Has her up and flips her over, and here we go. The homage to the late great Eddie Guerrero with the Three Amigos. Rolls her over for the third one here. And big third suplex there, drives the Witchmother down, but she flips back to her feet, but only to get Hurricanrana back down very quickly. Maybe it was her Dark Powers there with one last charge on hurrah. Mark up to the top rope, gets froggy, big frog splash there, hooks the legs, goes for the cover, 1, 2, 3, puts away the Witchmother pretty resoundingly, pretty swiftly, you have to say, ladies and gentlemen. A good victory for Mark there. He will know though now that the Tange is on his tail and is coming for him. It looked like in those matches against the firefighter in the previous two, he'd angered the Tange and was waiting for a measure of the Tange to come after him. It looks like here he didn't even break sweat. It doesn't look like. The face paint's normally running amok off his face, but that will do him the power of good. He needed a victory, you'd have to say. His KW form was on the downward slope. Defeats the Witchmother, puts her out of her misery, and now he'll be looking at Atomic Andy in the coming weeks, I dare say, to potentially get himself into a number 3 competitor spot, if you like, if he can knock off the big fella in that one. We'll have to wait and see, but waiting in the wings, of course, will be the firefighter. He will be watching this one eagerly, ladies and gentlemen, I dare say. The Tange, of course, has been the number 1 contender for this belt for some time now. We've seen the Assassin have a few exhibition matches, but he's not had a particularly challenging match on the cards. This one then will prove a real threat to him. He knows he'll have to bring his A game here. Nothing but the best will do for taking on the man who has held the KW Championship twice. The only other man to hold it twice, of course, Benji, out with that long-term injury after the ambulance match with Mark at the last main pay-per-view. The rivalry coming to a real head there. Of course, the Tange hasn't had many dealings with the Assassin in recent months or weeks or years in the KW, really. They're two athletes whose paths have not particularly crossed, and Tange will know that not having the first-hand experience of dealing with an athlete like the Assassin, one who can mix it up, one who is more high tempo, this could be a real challenge for him. He has, of course, faced high tempo athletes in the past, Mark, of course, being one of those athletes. The man who has more pyrotechnics than titles will know that he'll have to focus himself in, and he'll have to try and slow the Assassin down early doors. Perhaps he'll try and look to use the tactics that he'll have developed against facing Mark. Weaken the legs or the arms early doors. Try and slow the Assassin down as much as he possibly can. As the KW champion has his title defence here, ladies and gentlemen. This will perhaps be his biggest title defence of his KW career so far. He's only been a one-time KW champion. Of course, was the hardcore champion previously. And he is a man who knows how to hold on to the belt. He retained his Hardcore Championship for months in the KEW before finally losing it in a fatal 4-way that saw him lose to the BFG. He wasn't pinned in that match, distracted on the outside as the BFG snuck in for a pinfall. And since then he used that momentum to push himself towards this KEW Championship opportunity. Of course, his tag team partner Big Bird stepping aside in the KEW, taking a somewhat early retirement. He said he's not going to be focused on in-ring action. He just wants to be booking the matches for the KEW faithful to enjoy. He wanted this man here to have his time to shine as his own athlete in the KEW. He is a man who knows all about the different levels of silverware, though, if you like. Held the Hardcore Championship, held the Tag Team Championship, and is now the KEW Champion. The Tange will know that the gold is the ultimate aim, that the KEW's most decorated athlete is the man he's in the ring with. Multiple-time Tag Team Champion, one-time Hardcore Champion. He's currently getting a booty shake going on in the corner, it looks like. That man there, two-time KEW champion, he's not had as many championship runs as the man who faces opposite him in the ring as he puts the belt on the floor. And again, doing the squats. Oh, a little flip there. Good athleticism from the KEW champion. He looks mean and focused. The Tange is going to have his hands full here, ladies and gentlemen. Buckle in for this one. I think we're in for a slobber knocker. We saw the last one was a real heavy hitting affair. This one could be a real contrast in styles. Tange showing the belt, and he looks a little nervous, if anything, ladies and gentlemen. Perhaps he's worried from the earlier assault on Mark that Mark's going to return the favour. I'm not so sure he will. The KEW chairman will have said to him, don't get involved in any championship match. We don't need any shenanigans going on here. We don't need anything controversial. Our championship matches are sacred. Mark, of course, will also be dealing with a somewhat of a concussion, I dare say, after being bounced off the steps early doors and being bounced off things immediately. The Tange's head bounced off the mat by the Assassin. It's not the start the Tange would have wanted. Again, a snap DDT there from the Assassin, bouncing the Tange's big melon off the KEW matting as he's sent into the corner now, and a big charging forearm there drops the Tange down, and the KEW champion looks in resplendent form here early doors. Oh, massive moonsault off the top rope. How did he get that kind of twist and spin and the flip in there? Massive elevation. Goodness gracious me, the Assassin has started very, very quickly here, and he's taken it to the Tange. We've seen, of course, the Tange try and come out feisty in earlier matches, and it's done him well. When he starts slow, he generally ends up losing the match here, ladies and gentlemen. We'll have to see if that one pans out the same. He, of course, had the bugaboo with multi-man events, and it was a real issue for him previously in the KEW before winning the Money in the Bank, or the HMV Steelbook briefcase as we call it. Oh, the double legs drop right into the Tange's crotch there as well, and now the champion's advantage on the outside. He's giving a booting there, and Tange slow back to his feet. We're onto a 6 count now, and the Assassin throws him down the outside and might look to get back into the ring, and climbs up and jumps over the top rope here. We're onto a 7. This would be a disappointing, and resets the count with a massive flip to the outside though. He knows that the KEW faithful came here to watch a match, and he knows he's had a little rest in the KEW standings, and now he's ready to get back into the action. Sends the Tange into the ring onto a 2 count now as he smartly makes his way round. Tange letting him have the time to get back in the ring. Catches him flush there, and then a big knee and a big clothesline to the back drives the Assassin down, and that might be the shift that Tange needs, and replaying the favour now with the Assassin giving him the double legs to the crotch, and a big stomp there from Tange right onto, hopefully it was just an abdomen and not the penis of the Assassin, as he scoop slams him down onto the floor, gets onto the back of the neck now, wrenching the neck, really going after the Assassin early doors here, trying to get a measure of revenge from that early assault from the Assassin, get some sort of momentum back in this one. We'll have to be careful. Goes for the cover here. That's a very early cover. Gets a 1 count, and the Assassin kicks out. Tange was maybe hoping that he'd done a concussion or something to the Assassin with the early punches, but the Assassin works his way back out of it now with a few swift elbows, sends the Tanj into the rope, just about past the referee. Under he goes, and went for the Hurricanrana and missed it horrifically there. And this is a element of the Assassin's game that you have to watch out for. He does make the mistakes in it. Multiple clotheslines now, catches the foot here, drag back, and down goes the Tanj in the middle of the ring. The Assassin looking fired up and ready for this one here. Now off the ropes he goes, spins around, gets him hooked with both feet, spins him around, Assassin's edge, down he goes, and the Tanj is in dangerous position here now. If the Assassin gets one of these Assassin's edges in, that might be it. Might be good night. Tanjers gets hold of him now, whips him into the ropes. Misses that little move. I don't know what he's going for there. He's tried it twice already now and has mistimed it horrifically, and the Tanj whips him now into the middle rope as the Assassin looks slow to recover from that one. The Tanj poised here, DDT off the second rope, drives the Assassin down and poses for the flashes of the KEW fans as they get their cameras ready and take the pictures of the Tanj standing, kneeling over the Assassin there as it goes for the Tanj knockout, hooks the leg. 1, 2, kicked out at the last second from the Assassin. There's a real momentum shifter, that one though, from the Tanj out of nothing. Pulls the DDT out from the second rope, and it goes for the Tanj knockout blow out of nowhere, ladies and gentlemen. Picks the Assassin back to his feet now, has hold of him by the back of the net and carries him to the corner of the KEW ring. KEW title on the line here. The Assassin, big elbow back out of that corner. It's been a bit of a slow burner here. It was mainly all the Assassin, but the Tanjers come back into it in the last few moments here. Look at that, the Assassin flipping around. And a big drop kick there, drives the Tanj down to the ground. Good athleticism on display from the Assassin there, flipping around the ring. As now the Tanj into the corner, gets a big elbow on the shoulder right to the spine, and another elbow right to the back, really focusing on the spine area of the Tanj here. Whipped into the corner now though, took too long, but gets both feet up, and Tanj is dazed and confused and in a real state here. Can the KEW champion put him away? The Assassin's twist, goes for the cover, surely, hooks the leg. Has Tanj got anything left? He looked dazed, confused, rolls the shoulder at the last second here, ladies and gentlemen. I thought that might have been enough to put it away, really, and the Assassin now looks like he's got something big planned here. Goes for the moonsault, the standing moonsault, crushing the air out of the Tanj, picks him back up. The KEW fans are going nuts here. They're saying fight forever. Big Hurricanrana there, that's what he's been looking for all match, pumping up the crowd now. It could be Assassin's twist away from it again, goes for it here, puts him away with the Assassin's edge, goes for the cover. I thought he might hook him up and go for the cover immediately. Took a little bit longer there. 2, 3, enough time though to defend the KEW championship. Defeats the Tanj. The Assassin holding on to the belt here, ladies and gentlemen. I said he's a man who knows how to have a title run, and there is a successful title defense. The KEW champion still, look at that, says to him, put it on my shoulder, rips it off the referees. He refuses to put it on the shoulder of the man who holds the KEW gold, but he knows in the locker room that the KEW's most honourable man, the firefighter, will be looking at that belt and saying, I've surely got to be the number one contender now. I've taken everybody out in my way. The Tanj will be disappointed with his performance there, and the Assassin will say, bring on whoever's next. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching another thrilling episode of KEW Live. Join us next week for more thrilling action. Thank you and goodbye.